This week we're going to be talking about identifying themes in a story, which you'll be able to do. Last week you read a story called Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. This week we're going to use that story to take a closer look at how to identify themes in a narration. There are several different ways we can do this. I've listed some clues that we can look for: title and chapter headings, details about the setting, a narrator's or speaker's tone, characters' thoughts, actions, and dialogue, and the main conflict, or what the problem in the story is. When we use these clues, we can easily identify different themes in a story. The definition for theme is the central idea or message of a work of literature, often expressed as a general statement about life. Let's take a closer look at an excerpt from the story Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. In this excerpt, there are difficult choices the Logan family must make as they face some of the injustices of life in Mississippi in the early 1930s. Noticing text evidence, such as repeated topics or character details, can help you infer the multiple themes that gradually reveal themselves in the text. So let's look at this example. "Don't keep anything from me, David. If there's trouble, I want to know." Papa looked down at her. "Nothing to worry about, honey. Just seems that Thurston Wallace been in town talking about how he's not going to let a few smart colored folks ruin his business. Says he's going to put a stop to this shopping in Vicksburg. That's all." Mama sighed and stared out across the plowed field to the sloping pasture land. "I'm feeling scared, David," she said. Papa put the towel down. "Not yet, Mary. It's not time to be scared yet. They're just talking." Mama turned and faced him. "And when they stop talking?" So I know I want to look for things like character details, like actions and thoughts and the things they say. I want to pay attention to the tone between the conversation of Papa and Mama. And I also can infer some things about what is happening in the story to determine the theme. So I took a closer look and found some things that might help me to determine what the theme is. Starting at the top of the page, in the very first sentence, David's wife says, "Don't keep anything from me, David. If there's trouble, I want to know." So right away, we feel there's some kind of tension and we're not sure what it's for yet. If I continue to read, I see that Papa is trying to quell her feelings of frustration and possible fear about what could happen. Papa tries to quell her fears by saying, "Nothing to worry about, honey." Now, usually when somebody says that, there's something that they should be worried about. So I'm going to highlight that because I feel like there's something deeper here. At the end of this statement, he says, "That's all," meaning case closed. But Mama sure didn't seem to feel that way, because if I keep on reading, he's continuing to tell her to not worry. He says, "Not yet, Mary. It's not time to be scared yet." So I'm going to highlight that too. In the very last sentence, the narrator writes, "Mama turned and faced him." And when they stopped talking? So right here, we can feel that Mama is afraid of something. So in my notes, I wrote the following. The difference between Mama and Papa shows their anxiety about their situation. When he tries to calm her, she feels like he is hiding something, which makes her more worried. So I had to infer a little bit. I saw that Mama was worried about something, and Papa didn't want her to worry, so it made me feel like Papa was trying to make her feel better when actually something was seriously going on. Let's take a look at another example from Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. The narrator writes, "I looked back at Mama, wanting her to speak, to persuade him to stay, but when I saw her face, I knew she would not. She had known he would leave, just as we all had known. 'Papa, just another week or two, couldn't you?' 'I can't, baby. May have lost my job already.' 'But Papa, Cassie, that's enough now,' Mama said from the deepening shadows." In this section of the text, I highlighted two pieces of information that I thought were important. I can tell that Mama is still scared and anxious. Cassie is trying to figure out how she can help. So in my notes, I wrote the following. Mama is still scared and anxious, but Cassie hopes for a solution. This hope starts to go away, though, which can be seen by the way her words keep getting interrupted. You notice that as she is trying to convince Papa to stay, her mom or her dad interrupts her so that she can't plead her case. Her desperation and Mama's fear show the theme: fear can make people lose hope even though they try not to. So, this is the theme of this particular passage. I noticed that in this story, there are characters that are trying to figure out how to get through a very difficult time. I feel their fear by the way that they speak hesitantly or are worried about something under the surface. I'm not sure what it is, but I know that they have fear. Cassie seems hopeful, but as she realizes that things have to be the way they are, she starts to lose hope, and you can kind of feel that in this story. So, the two themes in this excerpt are hope and fear. When we're looking for a theme, we want to try to turn it into a sentence, much like my notes example that I had up above. Fear can make people lose hope even though they try not to. When we're looking for theme, we want to make sure that we turn this idea into a sentence, not just a one-word phrase. Let's review what you need to do for this next week. Remember, it's week 6. So here are your homework and activities for week 6. The first thing you'll need to do is complete the assignment theme, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, found in StudySync. Second, complete the skill assignment titled Adjectives, found in StudySync. After you do that, make sure you do the vocab words for the week. We have 3. Theme, which is the central idea or message of a work of literature, often expressed as a general statement about life. Our next word is overshadow, which means to appear more important than. And our third word for the week is story structure, which means the outline a writer uses to organize and tell a story. Also, remember to do 45 minutes of iReady. It used to be 30 minutes, but now we're going to increase that. All of these assignments are due on May 22nd, which is next Friday. Do as much as you can, but please don't stress. If you can't finish an assignment, just move on to the next one and then maybe come back to that assignment later. But don't worry about dates too much.